Hello, this is Smislav the Slayer, going to be doing a live Blitz chess game commentary. We got a queen pawn opening, and it looks like it's going to go into a queen's gambit of some sort, maybe a semi-Slav. No, queen's gambit accepted. And here I'm going to play e3, which blocks in my dark square bishop, but it also allows me to recapture this pawn fairly easily and quickly. And now I'm basically going to, now I'm going to accept a isolated queen's pawn. And the whole idea is that I will have, well, maybe I won't get the isolated queen's pawn. I probably actually won't. I have a feeling he's going to play b5 and then c4. And I actually don't think that's a good plan for him at all. So I'm going to go ahead and allow him to do that. The reason it's not a good plan is it would take off all the pressure on my center. And basically I would be able to develop freely and attack his kingside pretty easily. So he's not doing it quite yet. And now I don't want to play d takes c5 just because it's a blitz game, and I would prefer to have a little bit more. I don't want to play a symmetrical position in a blitz game. If this was a longer game, I might try to eke out some small advantage just because I have a slight advantage in development, but that's very, very slight. So d5 is another way to mix things up, but I'm not too sold on that because it loses a pawn right now. But aside from that, the b4, the queenside counterattack gets more powerful if I play d5. I guess it kind of is the same thing. It takes pressure off his queenside advance. I think actually a4 might be a promising move. e4 would be nice eventually, but I don't really see exactly how I'll be able to get that in. At least in the short term. I really need this to resolve in order for me to play e4 comfortably, which is actually why it's good for him to not resolve this tension here. I said, before he could try to play b5 and c4, and that wouldn't be good, but I think the way he is handling it is actually pretty good. So that's good for him. I'll just have to try to work around it. I think maybe going knight to d2, because see, now these light squares here are weakened by him, and this c4 square actually is extremely weak. Actually, can I get away with this though? As the isolated queen pawn could get captured if c takes, knight takes, yeah, knight takes, queen takes. Yeah, unfortunately, there's no way for me to. See, I could try to play b3. I think I will go ahead and play b3. It weakens my dark squares, which is not good at all. But on the other hand, it solidifies the queenside position. Ooh, actually, I did that all wrong. What I was supposed to do is play bishop to b2 first, but I kind of screwed that up, so I'll just have to try to make do with a bad situation. And I think part of that is going to be playing, just really having to kind of retreat here a bit. Bishop to f1, and then bishop to b2. And I will get the open long diagonal, but unfortunately, I'm not sure if it's going to be that valuable for me. So, in the end, actually, I'll just get I'll be down a pawn in a symmetrical position. Or actually, maybe he's got the only thing my bishops are pretty well developed. This b4 pawn is not great for him, but he has this nice d5 square. I don't know. This is pretty much a bad position for me. I should have played bishop to b2 first, then played knight to d2. But I think and especially with it being a blitz game, I think I could draw this game if I, just play pretty decently from here on out. It's a 4 against 3, which isn't too bad. That's a lot better than, for instance, having 2 pass pawns against and a 5 versus 4, something like that. So it's not the end of the world. And he's slowed down quite a bit here, so he might not. I'm actually usually pretty solid in these types of positions too, where it's just a large amount of pieces left, but for an end game, or a small amount of pieces left for a middle game. Yeah, I think that's actually that's all right for me to trade that. No, I think d4 c2. I definitely want to move my knight. It's just a matter of where I want to move my knight to. I might not want to move my knight. I think I'm going to play bishop to c4, which would just sort of put the question to him on how he's going to try to advance this. I think he's going to want to play... Okay, that seems like a solid way of doing it. And here I think knight to e5 possibly. No, because he can pin it with a bishop to f6. Yeah, I think I'm going to want to play, actually, bishop to c1. I don't care if he plays knight to c3, because it doesn't do anything. And now I can play bishop to d2, attacking this b4 pawn, and then hopefully getting him to play a5 or something like that. Now if he plays bishop to c3, that actually I would care about to a certain degree, but not that much, really. I'm going to go ahead and play bishop to d2. I think he'll play bishop to c3. No, he'll play that. Okay, now I'm going to play... Oh, I don't quite play bishop to a4 yet. I think actually I would just play h... I don't see why I would play h3. I think I'll play just king to f1 and get my king into the center. And try to get my bishop to b6 at some point. Or actually d8 now is another possibility. Either or just to this diagonal, just attack this pawn some way. And I'm just going to go back and eventually go to g3 and then in one of these squares basically and attack this thing. So his bishop actually will become somewhat of a liability on c3 because it's not protecting his main weakness here like he'd want it to. d2, c4. That seems actually pretty good. Right, d2, e4, d2, c4. Knight to e5, knight to c6, no, knight to b5. I think e2 is going to be the best bet here. He's got the check, which I didn't quite see. If he doesn't play check, I'll play bishop to g3 right away. I should have played that earlier, just to prevent the check, because now I have to go back, which is just kind of annoying. Now, if he does play check here, I'll just take the pawn and double his pawns, and I think that will be... He would still have the bishop pair, but that would still be worth it for me. Now I'm going to go ahead and play knight to d2. If he takes the knight, then I'll have the bishop pair and be down a pawn, which is not ideal, but starting to get me a little bit better. I have the e4 square now, and the c5 square that I can get to. Possibly maybe d3 square. I've got some... Getting my knight to the center is sort of an important part of this endgame. Yeah, I don't really see that as doing a whole lot here. No, he's got the check as the problem. I'm going to go ahead and just play f3 and leave my knight here. Now I have now knight e4 is a real possibility. Knight c3 check, I just play king d3, I believe. And if he plays it like that, I can just play bishop to d3 instead. Now I can maybe play knight to c4 and possibly get a pass pawn on my own. I think knight to c4. I'm really low on time too. I think knight to c4 is best. Trade here, and it'd be difficult for him. Not too difficult, but somewhat difficult for him. I think I'm going to actually try to trade off the dark square bishops. It's probably actually just losing. Because now his king is very well developed. just try to... He takes... No, okay, he didn't take. I think he should have taken there, actually. See how he plays this out. Yeah, play g5. So I'm just basically closing up this whole area. And we're going to have a zugzwang situation. Ooh, I forfeit on time, actually. Well, yeah, in this position I would go back, back. I think he would win anyway, actually. Because I'd have to move to either of these light squares, and he would just be able to attack the opposite one. So, yeah, unfortunately I blundered pretty early on. Like right about here. And I meant to play bishop to b2, but I just kind of got sidetracked. Just mixed up my moves. Played knight to d2, which was my overall plan to get to the c4 square, but I needed to first play bishop to b2 to prevent just losing the pawn in the center. So that's too bad. And then at this point, it's pretty much a matter of just can he win the endgame. And unfortunately for me, he could. So thanks for watching.